everybody. Thanks for coming to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this. Also, if you're new and you have not yet, if you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. Gets more of this information out there. And if you do like the content, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would definitely appreciate it. And I'm so honored and thankful for the subscribers that I have so far and those of you that are sticking with me. Today, on this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about BQH and kind of just certain, just basically what it is, what happens during it, and maybe kind of bust a couple of myths about some things. BQH stands for Beyond Quantum Healing. Now, quantum is a word, there's actually quite a few terms in the BQH field or in hypnosis fields that you may want to get to know if you are, you know, going to have this done, or if you're going to get a regression or anything like that. It might be good to know, but quantum is one of those words, and maybe if you're getting BQH or if you're getting some kind of hypnosis, you probably already know what it is, but the healing that comes through BQH can come through quantumly, which means that you can receive healing on a number of levels. You can receive a healing on a physical level. You can receive healings on an emotional level, a spiritual level, a mental level, all kinds of things. So that's one thing about quantum hypnosis or BQH that is very, very beneficial. It uses the standard regression type that you may have seen QHHT practitioners or Dolores Cannon's method, but it does not follow a strict pattern or a strict rule or a certain script that you have to follow, and that's kind of the difference. Also, that you can do it remotely is one of the difference. So so that's kind of what BQH is, and it's a fascinating, loving modality that uses your creativity and your imagination. And that is something that's really, really, really important, because we are really and honestly not told to use that side of us very often. Now, maybe not our creativity, we create all the time, but we maybe have been taught to move away from our imagination, and that's something that we kind of need to tend to break, because our imaginations can give us different perspectives on how to create a new and better reality for our lives. So I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about the brain waves too, because that makes a huge difference during meditation. We have the beta state, the alpha state, theta, gamma, and delta state. These are all the different waves, brain waves that we have. So let's just say beta. The beta state is when you're alert, open eyes, that you're talking. You're fully conscious, alert, moving, and you're aware of your surroundings. The alpha state is a light, relaxed, calm. You can still maybe be moving around, but your primary focuses may not be on your immediate surroundings. You could be more focused on listening, maybe even doodling, and you know, that kind of thing, listening to outside sources while you're doodling, kind of in a different kind of focus. Then we have the theta state, is a very deep, non-moving state, sometimes slower talking, a deep breathing. That's the REM, rapid eye movement state. The primary focus not at all on physical surroundings, but again, you're aware of the body while nearly all focus is elsewhere. The gamma, unknown, but can be fully vocal and connected, as in the theta state. And then of course the delta, which is in a deep sleep. No communication happens in the delta state. In the theta state, you can be aware of your surroundings and also snore. I've seen that. So there's another term or definition called that I wanted you guys to know. It's called somnambulism. Somnambulism. It's hard to say. I'm sorry. But that is what a lot of people may think happens during hypnosis. And I want you guys to know that that is very, very, very rare. And somnambulism is the deepest state of hypnosis where a client has little to zero memory of the experience. Like, honestly, kind of like anesthesia. A lot of times when you think about hypnosis, you hear that people put you under and do a certain thing or a certain way. Now, this is all information that you can check yourself, just like check out, you know, common myths about hypnotism or something like that. And you can kind of see the differences on what you see on TV and what you see, you know, maybe like stage hypnotists do and things like that versus, you know, what we guys do. And it's a complete different thing. Now, we talk you into a trance, into a state where you're fully in control of yourself, where you honestly know everything that's happening and you have full control of yourself, you know. So, like, for instance, you could be in a fully trance state and maybe the ceiling tile falls down. And you hear it and you're aware of it, but you don't move or anything because in this state, which is usually alpha or theta state is where we get you guys to. And normally in this state, you don't get up and you don't react, but you know it's happening and you don't, unless you feel unsafe. Okay, for instance, like a fire alarm, if that were to go off while you are under, you would probably be aware enough to know that I might need to get up now and get out of the building. But you won't be as jarred or as freaked out as if you say were asleep and in REM sleep, and then the fire alarm goes off and then you're like, you know, gotta get out of here, gotta get out of here. So no, that's not necessarily what happens. Now, it does happen, and I know that in a lot of hypnosis that you probably see that tends to be more the case where the client doesn't really remember a lot that happened, and that's okay. The more you guys focus on the induction and the trance and getting your body into a deeper brainwave, then that is where, that will depend on your experience. Now, some people can get in there like that. Some people need a long time to get in there. And to be honest with you, even if you are in a light state, probably not the one where you're speaking, but listening, you can still get some good information coming through. Literally, it's that easy. We just tend to make it something bigger than it is. And most people can be hypnotized. Most people have been hypnotized many times without even realizing it. Have you ever been reading a book and as you're reading and then all of a sudden somebody goes, Annie, or whatever your name is, and says, I have been trying to call you, and you're like, you have? You know, when you're so deep engrossed into something and you can't even hear what's going on, that's kind of a trance state. That's a hypnotist state. Or, you know, maybe when you're driving down the road and you pull up to your destination and you're like, well, how did I get here? I don't even remember driving here. Sometimes you just kind of focus on that or something like that. So those happen all the time. I wrote here, and I put parentheses or quotes around it, so maybe, when you're under trance, you're fully aware of what is happening around you, but you are focused on the internal. So that's actually a really good, yes, when you are under trance or under hypnotism, you're fully aware of everything that's going on around you, but you are not focused on everything around you. You are focused on the internal, which puts you in a different kind of state. So, or, you know, even as a kid, maybe you don't drive cars. If you're like staring off into space, you know, and you're just kind of caught in a moment, and, you know, a lot of times that can be, you know, that you're focused on what you did yesterday, or, you know, what you're going to do tomorrow or something like that. I'm not talking about those times. I am talking about the times when your brain goes somewhere else, like it does in a dream. That is kind of what happens in the BQH stage. We want to talk you down and talk your body down and talk your muscles down. Well, that's what I like to do. There's no set rules to this. That's what the beauty of this. So another practitioner may get you in a trance in a completely different way. So my way is, you know, depending on the person, I like to get their muscles all relaxed and then maybe talk them down into a beautiful storyline where they can walk into what it is that they're seeing and what they're doing and what they're feeling. And sometimes we go to other planets. Sometimes we become different objects. Sometimes we get to speak with higher beings or beings that we don't even know or have seen before. Sometimes we get to go into a past life and get to experience a different family, or maybe even how we passed away and what happens to our soul afterwards. There is no limit. There's no limit on where you go and what you can do, as long as you set an intention based and you get your heart and your mind into complete coherence, which is another wonderful, wonderful thing that happens during my induction stage, is that I definitely get your heart and your mind into coherence so that everything that does come through and the intentions that we've talked about and spoke about, because, you know, we've done that as, you know, client practitioner should do. And once we get all of that, I make sure to put you guys into the right place, so that what you're seeing or feeling or whatever is going on during the hypnosis and during the induction or during the session, I guess I should say, is what Spirit wants you to see. Another thing I'd like to say, and that Spirit has talked to me about, or my guides, is that a lot of times when we go to these different places or planets or whatever the case is, it's not necessarily exactly how it may be, but if, as you know, as Annie, as a human being with this consciousness, may not understand, you know, going into a different dimension where everything is, you know, sacred geometry and, you know, I'm running around as an octagon. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. And I might not comprehend that. So I will get an energetic pattern, images, or a storyline that is very similar to, or the closest that we can get to the actual, what we couldn't basically comprehend. For example, if that's not making much sense, say, you know, you go off. I had a client, one of my first ones, I had a client who we were going to do a past life regression, and no, they weren't having that. They went completely somewhere else. He felt like he was in outer space or whatever, and then he went to this place, and it was just an emotional experience. It was very beautiful, and it's like, my friend, my best friend, I love him, oh, I'm so glad to see him. And when he was explaining what everybody looked like, there was like, you know, it was like a green bean head, and everything looked, because I don't really understand what's going on, and that may not necessarily have been what happened, but energetically for him to understand, that was as close as they could get for him to be similar enough to, you know. So what you see and what you feel are going to be very similar energetic patterns to what has actually happened. So a lot of times people talk about hypnosis as if they won't be in control and they won't be aware of anything. But again, yes, you are always aware. As a matter of fact, most people feel like they are in a heightened sense of awareness, that your awareness is actually gone from here to like expanded here. So, you know, you think you only have 1, 2, or 3 options to get through whatever situation you're getting through, or for whatever reasons or questions that you're asking for this BQH session. It expands your view and expands your horizons and opens up a door to where you can see situations in a different perspective. And instead of having just a couple of, or thinking that you only have a couple of options to get through life or get through this situation, your views will expand and you will have many opportunities and many different ways to see the truth behind things and situations. You know, for example, you know, say a woman comes in and, you know, her reasoning to get hypnotized is that there's a woman running her life and she just wants this, she gotta get her out of here. What do we do? Let's go under, let's figure this out. I want this woman out of my life. But once we get the heart and the mind into coherence and our intention set, what we really want is to find out, why is this woman here? Why is she in my reality? And what is the bigger picture? What am I trying to learn here? And what can I do to change it in so many ways, or whatever the case is? And it might not have anything to do with this woman. You might go into a past life where, you know, you were a little homeless girl doing this or that, and eventually, somehow, some way, these stories might connect. You know, especially if your intentions are pure. They almost always do in my case. So good ways to, like, if you're going to get a session done, and some of the reasons I'm saying all this is I just really, guys, when I put some of the BQH videos out that I have, there are some, and there are times things are falling over for no reason. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, so I have a couple of sessions, and you can tell when a person starts coming out of the trance state, and you can tell when I can help put them back in there. And I have even a couple where they feel pretty conscious, and I take them back under and they start channeling like crazy. So I wanted you guys to know and to see, and even do research on your own about what truly goes down and what's really happening here, and to understand that this is quantum. This is something that can help in ways we are not supposed to understand, but we're supposed to be open to a lot of things. But some of the things that can get you guys ready for a session is learning about being creative and honoring your imagination. That is really important. That's one of the most important things, I think, is just like honoring your imagination and what comes in your mind and what you see with your third eye. You know, a lot of times people don't think that they can see anything or whatnot, you know, because they think that they should physically be seeing something the way that you have your eyes open in reality. A lot of times it's like a memory. If you close your eyes and you think back to a memory of one of your most perfect days, your happiest days, kind of like that movie in City Slickers where they're trying to do their best and their worst, and you're talking about their best and their worst day. Well, you can, you know, in your mind, you can see your happiest day or your worst day, and you may not see what the people were wearing, or maybe you can. You may not have the exact moment by moment reality, but you know the gist of why it was amazing, why you have this in your memory. You can see it, you can feel it, you can, you know, if you're at Disneyland, you can smell the churros and remember what it tastes like to eat them right before you puked them out off the roller coaster. I don't know if that's real or not, but you know what I mean. So anyways, honor the imagination like you would honor a memory. And, you know, anything can come up in your imagination. And practice. You can have good, like, Google guided meditations on YouTube, or YouTube guided meditations. Those are huge. Those are huge. Practice that. Practice inducting yourself into a trance state, and then you'll have questions. And especially in the guided meditations, they can say, what does this look like? And that's all a part of it. That's all a huge part of training your focus. That's what you want to do, is train your focus. Meditate by training your focus. Do guided meditations. Just figure out ways to train your focus. If you want to do walking meditations or meditations while you're in the shower because you don't really have time or really know what to do, just practice focusing. Focus on the water streaming down your chakras, on each one, and what it feels like. as you shampoo your head. You know, just try to just learn to focus and keep your mind going for as long as you can, if you can. Usually what helps during a BQH is that you have a practitioner that can help you stay on track, that can help ask questions. And that does make it easier sometimes, but watch other regression videos. I hate saying that, and I love saying that at the same time, because I don't want you to have expectations when you come in, or most people don't have expectations when you come in. Let it just be. But you can see how other people get going and how their stories come across and what their experience was. I suggest getting as much information as you can. Practice your visualization. Practice that. So right now, we won't get you into a deep trance. I can probably get you into, you'll definitely be in beta unless, you know, you're jabbering on your phone or something. But if you're in beta or alpha, this will probably be where you get. And all I need you to do is practice this visualization exercise with me. So let's breathe. If you can breathe and inhale for a minimum of 4 seconds, 5, 6 if you can, hold it for 3, exhale for 4 to 6 seconds. Try to control it. So let's do that at least 3 times. Come on. Again. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And continue to have your eyes closed as you breathe deeply, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, letting the oxygen flow all throughout your body, opening your chakra centers, the power centers that make you you. I want you right now to picture yourself in your bedroom, on your bed, maybe leaning back, relaxing. I want you to picture it as it is now, and I want you to see the comforter that's on your bed. Really try to picture it, or anything that's on there to keep you warm. Picture yourself maybe reading a book or watching TV. Just relax. Breathing deeply. Just being you. And then all of a sudden, the doorbell rings or there's a knock at the door. You weren't expecting anybody. Do you have dogs? Do they bark? What's the first thing that you do? Do you look out your window? I want you to do all the things that you would do if somebody knocked on your door. And I want you to walk towards the door. And I want you to put your hand on the doorknob. Try to really feel it. What does it look like? And I want you to open the door. And right there in front of the door is the most beautifully wrapped package that you have ever seen. There's no possible way it came from Amazon or anywhere else, because it is the most beautifully wrapped parcel. What does it look like? Is it big? Is it little? Does it have a bow? And in your excitement, because for some reason deep down you know this is something you've been wanting for a long, long time. And maybe you didn't know it. But deep down, it doesn't matter how much it costs, or where it would come from, or how impossible it would be to have, if it's physical or not. You just know that this is what you need and this is what you've wanted. So you open your gift. take time to hold it in your hands or sit on it or whatever it is. Take time to inspect it and look at it and feel it and own it and have it, and that you're worthy to have this. What does it feel like to be worthy of having what you've always wanted? I want you to accept it. And take another deep breath. And open your eyes. What that is you using your imagination, not your ego, but your imagination. And you got to come up with something that isn't on your front doorstep. And you got to have it there, and you got to explain it, and you got to see it. And I'd love to hear what you got and how it all went down. That would be so much fun. So let me know. And this is just all a part of you guys getting ready. So if you have any questions about BQH, if you want a session, email me. Let me know down below. Send a comment. If you just want to chat about it, just to get to know about things, annieandthelight@gmail.com. I will be happy to talk to you guys. Let me just tell you, this is a donation-based modality that can get you so far if you so choose to. This is something everybody should experience. This is something that I love to do, and I have had wonderful experiences myself. So you guys, let me know if you have any questions, or if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions. I would love, 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 love to hear it. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way through, I appreciate you.